Thomas Zirin, previous NASA science chief, remarked on the send-off of the James Webb Space Telescope, JWST. James Webb denotes the start of a new era in cosmology. Webb will grow and test our cosmology and our comprehension of planets and the beginning of life. What started ideally transformed into a failure. James Webb stunned researchers with the emergency, now with another revelation of the James Webb Telescope and the discussion in material science. The conversations about old hypotheses and who is on the right track or wrong could, to be sure, be reaching a brief conclusion. Yet, what precisely does this mean? Have researchers truly disentangled the secret? Is it difficult to encompass James Webb's disclosures? Or are we simply being slowed down with shaky clarifications? James Webb was expected to bring arrangements. However, all things being equal, the $11 billion venture plunged cosmology into a significant emergency. All pieces of normal science related with space are currently encountering a purge of the kind we last saw in the medieval times with the shift to the heliocentric perspective on the world. Now we might need to perceive that the underpinnings of our advanced physical science are additionally defective and that we have not yet come close to understanding what our universe truly is. How is this conceivable? The present astronomy, or in other words, the study of the physical amounts and connections in the universe, depends on the essential guidelines of material science, which basically return to analysts of ancient times and the medieval times, and specifically to Sir Isaac Newton. The principal perceptions of mechanics and elements were made in days of yore. Amounts and powers were depicted for the initial time, and later Newton found gravity, which is so significant for astronomy. We built our logical perception of the universe on these establishments. We moved the amounts and powers that were legitimate and recognizable on Earth to the universe, and this delivered some steady results. However, then the space we can see got increasingly big, and at a certain point our realized amounts no longer fit to depict what we see. This emergency started with an issue. The unique strategies for estimating the age and extension pace of the universe prompted inconsistent outcomes. Neighborhood estimations in light of cosmic items inside the universe gave unexpected qualities in comparison to estimations of the early universe based on the infinite microwave background radiation. We know this disharmony as the Hubble strain. While the Hubble study shows the development pace of the universe, in the summer of 2022, Webb found so many old and highly developed cosmic systems in space that questions emerged regarding how the age of the universe was resolved. Our universe can barely be 13.8 billion years old if, on account of Webb, we see systems that were at that point advanced 200 to 100 million years after the enormous detonation. According to the estimations of our physical science, universes need billions of years to fill in. In the instance of the universes found by Webb, this would even imply that the hour of their development was before the enormous detonation. Our old cosmology, according to which the universe began with a huge explosion 13.8 billion years ago, has been extending from that point onward and has gone through a sluggish interaction of development of issue. This cannot be right. We are at a junction. Possibly we are committing an error assuming that we feel that our natural physical science can be applied to the whole universe, or we have up to this point just interpreted a little piece of the physical science that truly exists. The old researcher Hermes Trismegistus once said, "As in little things, so in great things." According to this saying, every one of the physical sciences that exist in the universe ought to likewise be tracked down on Earth. However, maybe we have ignored powers and aspects on our planet that we are currently seeing in the universe. Webb breaks all records. It's incredible. This telescope can capture very weak light signals. Webb's 18 honeycomb-shaped mirrors easily distinguish light that has traveled through existence for in excess of 13 billion years. An extraordinary openness technique makes these weak hints of light noticeable for the initial time, thanks to the new, progressive technology. We saw the light from the most far-off worlds that formed soon after the Big Bang. In the summer of 2022, these systems were a sensation and simultaneously a harsh disillusionment. Rather than child cosmic systems, Webb shows perfectly developed systems that give off an impression of being a few billion years old with an age of 13.5 or 13.6 billion years. This can never be the case. Nowadays, researchers sometimes say that the items and the pictures aren't inconceivable or not genuine. However, Webb can show us the truth. Science must now concede that it has likely been on some unacceptable track for over 100 years. That is generally how old our norm we see here cosmological model is, Webb works impeccably. It's just that enormous pieces of our science are still unable to find some peace with the new bits of insight. A portion of the old conservatives, who would rather not look the new bits of insight in the face, passionately go against the finish of the enormous detonation or the thought of expansion. In the medieval times, it additionally required numerous years prior to the congregation was at last ready to concede that the Earth was not the focal point of the universe, despite the fact that there were unexpectedly masses of proof from cosmologists all over Europe. So not much appears to have changed. Also, despite the fact that we see ourselves to such an extent more present-day today, we have a comparative situation. Analysts who declare something new may never again wind up in jail like Galileo Galilei, yet the fights among specialists and the antagonism towards new things are still there. Imagine you have spent a lifetime looking and solidly having faith in something, and then suddenly you see pictures or another side of reality that tells a different story. Maybe your psyche would likewise oppose this from the beginning, and it would take some time before you could acknowledge the new truth. Numerous receptive and youthful researchers are energetic about Webb's revelations. Rohan Naidu, the pioneer of the G-class C1 universe, and S. Finnan, who discovered Mama Universe, had a place with this receptive age of specialists. They see Webb's pictures with an open mind and have been concentrating on them since the principal moment of distribution. Yet, was it Hubble's issue? We should investigate the Hubble constant. One of the extraordinary discussions in present-day cosmology concerns the Hubble steady. This is the rate at which the universe is probably extending. In the 1920s, space expert Edwin Hubble found that far-off cosmic systems were moving endlessly from us. From this, he inferred that the universe is extending. The thought was later developed, and the Belgian space expert Lamport hypothesized that this extension started from a solitary point: the Big Bang. Today, we definitely know from elective techniques that the development of worlds can likewise be made sense of distinctively, and these methodologies moreover give a reasonable picture in their totality. However, they were overlooked for a long time because the old hypotheses were thought about additional likely. Yet, the more we see of the universe, the more disparities arise. This didn't simply begin with Webb. Indeed, even a long time back, there were districts in space where the extension was acting distinctively. Maybe these districts were sometimes quicker and now and then more slow, or maybe denser or emptier. This prompted theory that there might have been a few beginning stages, or that our universe is even forever taken care of by a few sources, which don't all must have had a start at the same time or at every single elective thought about the shape, nature, and age of the universe arose. Indeed, however, analysts kept on gripping to the old speculations of the enormous detonation and extension. This was perhaps a mix-up. We have currently momentarily found out about the Hubble pressure. In short, it shows clear contrasts in distance estimations in the universe relying upon which fixed focuses we use as estimation constants. Presently, researchers trust that the Webb telescope, as its central goal advances, will have the option to determine this pressure by making exact estimations of the distances and redshifts of cosmic systems. The expected adjustment of blunders in past estimation strategies not just addresses a vital defining moment. However, it likewise holds the commitment of introducing a great change in outlook, impelling us into another epoch of cutting-edge physical science that penetrates the actual texture of inestimable reality. This great accomplishment remains as a demonstration of the immovable devotion and indefatigable tirelessness of ages of specialists who have committed their lives to unwinding the mysterious secrets of the universe, enthusiastically pushing the limits of human knowledge of all time. Further, as they continue looking for truth and understanding in their constant quest for knowledge, these gutsy pilgrims have not just extended the skylines of how we might interpret the universe, but have likewise improved our shared mindset, lighting a feeling of marvel and stunningness at the limitlessness and multifaceted design of the universe that encompasses us. As we stand at the cliff of this new frontier, balanced on the edge of discovery, it is incumbent upon us to move toward each new discovery with receptive outlooks and open hearts, embracing the capability of even the most new or stunning discoveries to reshape how we might interpret the universe in significant and startling ways. Without a doubt, the development of new speculations and elective clarifications messengers the first light of another time in logical request, where dug-in ideal models are tested and strong groundbreaking thoughts allure us forward into unknown regions of information and investigation. At this significant crossroads in history, we find ourselves on the cusp of a significant logical transformation, where the examination of the most established places of light in the universe holds the tempting commitment of opening the most profound insights about the idea of presence itself. With the guide of cutting-edge innovations, for example, the James Webb Space Telescope, we are ready to set out on an uncommon excursion of discovery, diving ever more profound into the vast embroidery to unwind the mysteries of accretion circles, test the baffling domains of very gigantic dark openings, and strip back the layers of astronomical peculiarities that shape the actual texture of our universe. Yet, as we chart this intense course into the obscure, we should likewise tread carefully, aware of the intricacies and vulnerabilities that untruth ahead. For each new disclosure brings with it a large group of new inquiries and moves, inviting us to wander further into the void of the unexplored world and confront the secrets that have escaped us hitherto. In the excellent embroidered artwork of inestimable development, each new discovery is a string woven into the mind-boggling texture of human knowledge, enhancing our comprehension of the universe and our place in it. As we set out on this invigorating excursion of discovery, let us not just commend the victories of science, but additionally embrace the vulnerabilities and difficulties that untruth ahead. For it is through affliction that we develop and advance, both as people and as a species, fashioning a path toward a more brilliant and more illuminated future for all of humankind. We would then need to return to our cosmology and find out whether dark openings played a considerably more significant job in the disclosure of the universe than recently suspected. One hypothesis that focuses on this comes from the English researcher Roger Penrose, who accepts that the universe is continually reproducing itself in cycles and that dark openings could somehow endure such advances as enormous stores of data. Penrose distributed this hypothesis sometime before Webb was sent off, yet albeit the Brighton is a notable specialist, his work was not acknowledged. That is presently changing. Webb's mission has just barely started. We as of now have a second profound picture where we have the revelation of an exceptionally old construction that is so enormous that it additionally doesn't squeeze into the youthful universe. This proof is filling in the immense territory of the universe where cosmic systems twirl and stars dance in the infinite expressive dance. Humankind has set out on an excursion of discovery not at all like any other. With the send-off of the James Webb Space Telescope, as we stand on the slope of another time in cosmology, the expectation of what Webb will uncover fills us with fervor and wonder. It isn't just an instrument for looking into the profundities of the youthful universe. Rather, it is a reference point of investigation, indefatigably graphing the divine scene, revealing the mysteries of far-off universes, and shedding insight into the secrets that have dazzled human imagination for hundreds of years. The extent of Webb's mission stretches out a long way past the limits of our own planetary group. With its unrivaled abilities, it digs into the domains of exoplanets, testing the environments of outsider world universes and looking for indications of livability, offering enticing looks into the probability of life past our own blue planet. Also, Webb's sharp eye is turned inward, enlightening the complexities of our nearby planet group, from the frosty moons of Jupiter to the rough territory of Mars, with phenomenal lucidity and detail. Yet, Webb's compass expands considerably further, extending across the tremendous breadth of space to catch the glory of the most